Hello and welcome to Take It to School with Dr. Tom Prichard. I am your host, JP John Pops from the Two Man Power Trip. Of course, joining me is the star of the show, the former WWE World Tag Team Champion, one of the greatest trainers ever in the history of the business, the Doctor of Desire himself, Dr. Tom Prichard. Dr. Tom, how you doing today, sir?
I'm almost feeling way too guilty for feeling way too good today. With everything going on in the world, I think I should be feeling some of that, but I'm not. I'm feeling pretty good today.
There's a lot of,
A lot of craziness.
yeah, maybe too much craziness going
Yeah,
on out there.
yeah.
What do you think about what's going on in the world of the WWE right now with Roman Reigns still being the champion? Maybe a little bit of a record going on here.
I think it's great. Going back to the days when Bruno held the belt. How long did Bruno hold the title?
2,800 days, over 2,800 days. So it's like almost 8 years.
8 years. Yeah. Well, I remember those days when the champion was champion for. I wasn't on the East Coast at that time, but Bruno was all over the magazines. An 8 year run, that's unheard of today. But Roman Reigns has been doing it how long now? 3 years?
Over 3 years. 3 years, three
Yeah,
months.
yeah. So I think it's great. I like stuff like that. I like it when it's hard to get the title off the guy, not when he drops it every other week.
Very cool to have that reign. I mean, he's at 1,160 something days. I mean, very cool to have that. You never thought you'd see that ever again, but it's great.
Well, yeah, and I think that's what a lot of the modern fans like too about this. And Roman Reigns is a great champion. I think he's done a hell of a job as champion.
Supposedly will not be on Survivor Series, believe it or not. I was kind of surprised by that. He's not on that show, it looks like.
Why would he not be on Survivor Series?
They said he's on vacation until January. So,
Well, then, when you're the champ, I guess you can do that.
you like that though, taking that much time off
I,
between big shows?
I really don't mind it. You have Seth Rollins there to defend the world title, so I don't mind it at all. Keep the champion from showing up every single time, every single week.
Brendan, good evening.
Good evening, Brendan.
Memorabilia,
Puerto
greetings.
Rico.
Puerto Rico, nice. Hello, memorabilia, nice. Ibsen, the best of the best, Dr. Tom.
Ibsen.
Barbara, hello, Dr. Tom, good to see you.
Should we tell Barbara she's never late?
She's never late,
Okay.
yes. Interesting question here for you from Hannibal. It said, I read in an old observer that Zip was originally supposed to be known as Flip. Is this true? And if yes, why was it changed?
There was a couple names they were coming up with that was copyrighted already, so it could have been. But I think I've put that so far out of my mind. Yeah, Zip died in a flaming car crash.
I feel like if it was Flip, you better be doing flips. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what you think, pal. But Zip was bad. Zip was worse than Flip.
Or if you're John Filippelli, the old, obviously he runs the Yes Network now, but he used to work for WWF. He's Flip. So, unless you're Flip, John Filippelli, then it works. But I don't know if it works for the Body Donnas.
I don't know. Nothing worked for the Body Donnas.
Would Flip have been acceptable to you? I know you're saying it's better, but would you been okay with
Nothing would have been acceptable for me. To me, nothing would have been acceptable. No, it was not acceptable, but I accepted it.
I would have loved to have been in that creative meeting. Like, let's think of names that rhyme with Skip. You know what I mean? Like that was their
You
like
would have
creative
loved to
direction.
have been in that creative meeting.
Yeah,
You're a
just to see,
masochist, aren't you?
just to see like where their heads at. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I want to know
Well,
like
no, I
what.
know where their heads were at, and that's why I definitely didn't want to be in that meeting. I knew exactly where their heads were at.
I remember years ago, I said to Al Snow once, I was like, "Oh, sometimes they'll do gimmicks where it's like a rib or something." He goes, "They don't do that. They don't do ribs. I mean, they're this money. They got to do that." I know you said the opposite. You said sometimes they do stuff as a rib. Was this a rib?
I'm sure it was a rib on me. I mean, I'm still living the rib.
WWF Tag Team Champion though, nothing to sneeze at there. That's a good thing to have and the resume.
Okay, so I won't go into any debates about the body donnas tonight. It's been one of those days, and the body donnas are the last thing that. No, in fact, they don't. They're not even in my world anymore. That's too bad.
Got a good question here, all the way from Puerto Rico. Thoughts on WWE possibly having a feud between Puerto Rican native, of course, Bad Bunny, and Logan Paul?
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome. I think it'd be great. I don't know what they do, but I think it'd be great to see them out there together.
With your, obviously vast knowledge and training and everything else, are you surprised that these two celebrities, they love the business, but are you surprised how good they are and how few matches that they've had?
I was a little surprised at Bad Bunny, but then it was obvious that he was a fan and he was athletic. And then Logan Paul was athletic and he was doing the boxing and stuff, so he didn't surprise me as much. But I'm glad for him because they certainly haven't embarrassed anybody.
Did you see Crown Jewel?
I did not.
Logan Paul saved Rey Mysterio's life.
I saw
Mysterio
the
was doing,
clip. Yeah, I saw
yeah,
the clip from that.
that's an old veteran move right there.
Well, he seems to have some instincts and an innate ability to follow up. So good for him.
That was like kind of reminded me, it's somewhat similar, but a little bit different. Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig, when he was in WCW, Jericho almost flipped on his neck and he moved and positioned himself in a way where he kind of got his knees up and caught him and kind of pushed him so he wouldn't land directly on his head. I was like, ooh, veteran move by Perfect, but veteran move by Logan Paul.
That's an instinctive move, I think. And Logan Paul just had the instinct to catch him, get closer, and he did save him.
The big man here, should CM Punk return at Survivor Series this year? It is in Chicago.
Chicago. Um, I think it'd be cool if he did. I mean, that'd be another surprise, or maybe be an unexpected surprise. I don't know if there's any unpredictability anymore. Because everybody's assuming this guy's going to show up or that guy's going to show up. I think even when Flair showed up in AEW, I read somewhere where it was good reception, but it wasn't earth shattering, was it?
No, the crowd kind of stunk.
Yeah. So that'd be cool if CM Punk could get that kind of reaction.
I feel like Chicago, he not that he teased it, but he kind of was teasing it a little like, oh, it's sold out. I don't have tickets. It's sold out. Like he's kind of just teasing it a little bit.
Yeah, but that's what he does.
You have to, yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. I think it would be awesome. They could use like another infusion of a top guy. I mean, just to, try
I
to.
I I couldn't agree more. So I think they're always looking for top guys. They're always looking for people that are going to create some excitement.
Barbara says, does Bruno Sammartino have the record for the longest champion?
You know that better than I would, but I think he does.
WWF by far, yeah.
Yeah,
WWF, yeah. It's funny, the guy in second, they've kind of erased Backlund from the record book for some reason recently. I don't know why. He had 2,100 days, but if you actually really look at it, he lost to Inoki in Japan, so his record is 4 days less than Hogan's.
right.
But they still didn't bring it up. So, but Roman has to go past WrestleMania to beat Hogan, which would mean that if he passes Hogan, he passes Bruno along the way, technically speaking.
Well, now, why would they erase Backlund from the history?
No clue. No idea. For some reason, every week, this was a few months ago, Michael Cole mentioned Backlund. Then at Crown Jewel, he did not. He goes, there's only two people ahead of Roman Reigns, and that's Hulk Hogan and Bruno Sammartino, the two greatest champions in history. So it was weird. It's almost like they erased Backlund just like that.
Well,
I don't know if I like that.
well, they do things like that sometimes, but I'm just curious as to why.
It's strange. And if you look at it, if you don't count the Inoki win, then he's 2,100 days or whatever it is. So he's second to Bruno. So then you still should mention him because that means he's got a long ways to go to beat him.
Well, only if they don't want to mention him and just put Bruno and Hogan in their own category.
I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah.
They're kind of above Bob Backlund. No offense, I love Backlund, but they're those are like the two goats. Dr. Tom, who do you feel should dethrone Gunther, Intercontinental Champion Gunther?
That's a great question. I honestly haven't seen enough to even tell you.
Do you love Gunther? Do you like his style?
Wait a minute. Of course, I love Gunther. Who doesn't love Gunther? I do like his style. Yeah, I like the fact that he's really changed. He's changed his body. He's changed his style. He's changed everything. And he came out. He's earned everybody's respect. I think just by going out there wrestling the way he's been wrestling. So yeah, I like Gunther a lot. I just don't know enough. Uh, who's in contention for the Intercontinental Championship? Who is in contention?
The Miz right now is #1 contender. So I don't know
Okay.
where that's going, but Miz is #1 contender.
I don't know that it should be Miz to take
Definitely not.
Gunther out. No. So, I mean, I'm sure they have good matches, but I would keep the belt on Gunther.
Seemed like they were teasing Chad Gable for a while that he would do it. He came so close. His family was in attendance, and he lost.
Yeah, maybe. But, there's always that chance.
Would you do Gunther versus Roman?
Well, I don't. That's something to think about. That is something to think about. But because what do you do then? You've got Gunther built and you've got Roman built. You have to put Roman over, or do you put Gunther over? I don't know. It's good to ponder.
Yeah. Nice little
And I'll
predicament
ponder
for
it.
you there.
Yeah.
Jonathan Compress says, eyes purple, crying, amazing. I'm not sure what that means.
Eyes equal purple equal crying. Amazing.
I don't know.
Okay.
Survivor Series ain't about the belts. That is true. It'll be about war games. Survivor Series war games. And Cody put out there the match beyond, which obviously was a creation of Dusty, of his father. So War Games is back. It's the Judgment Day against Team Cody. Cody, I don't know if you saw this, but he put the face paint on a la Dusty, and that's like Dusty was going to war, that old cool picture. Well, he's doing that for War Games when they're facing Judgment Day. So pretty cool little poster they got going on.
Well, I heard about it. So, yeah, it's Survivor Series has always been a classic. I guess what's it called? What do they call it now instead of pay per view? Live event,
The premium live event.
premium event. Okay,
Yes.
okay. So premium live event, PLE.
Used to be the Big Four.
Yeah, yeah. So it'll always be exciting, and I think Cody versus Judgment Day. Yeah, I think all those guys can work.
Jason, hello, Jason. Hope you're doing well.
Jason, always doing good.
God Gamer, good evening, dudes. Good evening.
Where's God Gamer from?
Canada.
Thank you.
Nice. Yes.
Cool.
Todd, good evening from Paris, Kentucky. I know you know Paris, Kentucky well.
Of course I do. It's right next to France.
Ibsen, when you said last week you'll be happy to train Shane's kid, Declan, Vince Russo put up a post tomorrow. Vince Russo will post a video tomorrow on how he can become a pro. Must have heard my question from last week. So, are you still open to training Declan McMahon?
Of course I'm open to training Declan McMahon. Anything. Of course.
Would you say you got to keep Vince Russo away from Declan McMahon for right now, or are you okay with Russo giving him a game plan of how to become a pro?
Well, here's what I say. There's no right or wrong way. There's your way, there's my way, but the right way, the only way does not exist. So uh, I don't mind anybody offering advice as long as it's constructive advice. I don't know that Vince has constructive advice. That's the only thing.
Yeah, who knows? Barbara says, doesn't the champion have to defend the belt every 30 days?
Well, that was in the NWA bylaws. I knew that. But I don't know if that law is, well, obviously that law is not carried out anymore.
It was funny. Somebody did a comparison. It was like how many title defenses Roman's had in 1,000 days and how much Hogan had. Hogan was like 400 something, and Roman was at 54.
Right.
So not a
Right.
lot of title
So,
defenses.
right. So I mean, it makes sense. How many times did Tyson defend his title?
Good question. Not as much as you would think.
Right.
Yeah.
So when he got ready for a big fight, he was getting ready for a big fight. And, it made it more special, in my opinion. If you see the champion all the time, then it just becomes commonplace. That's how I feel.
Speaking of Survivor Series, from Brendan, he says, "What do you think of Cody being a part of his father's creation?"
I think it's great. I think Cody's passionate about wrestling. He's passionate about what his dad did. He's passionate about being a performer. And I think it's a great thing he can do that. I think it's a great thing that he came back and he's going to seal the deal on his dad's legacy, I think, and eventually win the championship, win the WWE championship.
Finish the story, as he likes to say.
Yeah, I think he will.
Heavenly Bodies Forever from the Beef Patty Man.
Well, thank you, Beef Patty, man.
Heavenly Bodies rule. Speaking of Heavenly Bodies, that's the first Survivor Series memory for you. Survivor Series 93 in Boston. The Heavenly Bodies and the Rock and Roll Express. Smoky
Yeah,
Mountain Wrestling tag team titles in the WWF.
yeah. Boston let us have it too. See, we were doing one of those Southern matches where we did all our spots, and they were going, boo, get out of there. Yeah, so but,
Isn't that funny?
good
You
match.
guys, I like it. I think it's a good match. The crowd maybe not as into it as they should have been, but you guys had a similar match at Super Brawl for WCW that same year, months earlier. Crowd ate
Yeah,
it up. They loved it.
that was a yeah, that was a Super Brawl, Asheville.
Yep.
Sure was.
And they loved it. So that Southern crowd, I
It's
mean,
that
Nashville
Southern
versus
crowd for
Boston.
you, man. There is a
Barbara's,
difference. There is a difference.
Barbara's making a good point. She said, "I thought Dr. Tom gave Zip or Flip the Viking funeral."
I'm not quite sure what a Viking funeral is, but yes.
Isn't that when you put the thing in the casket and you roll it into the water and then you literally like shoot an arrow at it and blow it up while it's in the water?
Are you supposed to
It's
blow it up?
not blow it up, but you shoot the fire and the fire hits and it blows up. Not blows up, but it sets the casket aflame and it just rides off into the ocean.
well, well,
I think.
yeah. Okay, it sounds good to me if that's what it is. Yeah. If not, I will give him a Viking funeral. I've given him a send off, a big send off.
McMahon didn't want anybody to flip during the steroid trial. That is true. You got to keep everybody on your side.
Good point, Barbara.
Scorch says the ring name, this is random as hell, but I love it. The ring name PN News didn't match Paul News' rapper gimmick. PN News sounds like a high school newspaper. Oh.
Well, I didn't have anything to do with PN News being called PN News, but
I
I
love
guess
that. Bit of talent.
some brainchild, or some genius
Yep.
thought it was a brainchild of some genius, is what I meant to say. That hey, if this guy's going to be a rapper, how about PN News? That sounds cool. Yeah,
Yo, baby, yo, as he used to
sure.
say. God Gamer's back. He said skip rhymes with skippity. That would have been bad, right? Skip and skippity doo dah. That was not bad. Spooky says drip. That's not bad, especially nowadays.
We went through them all. We
Yeah, that's
decided
not
on
bad.
yeah.
His name is Rory from Puerto Rico. He was wondering what your top 4 tag teams are of all time, and who are 3 wrestlers you idolize. So that's a good
Oh,
one.
I definitely for my top 4 tag teams of all time, I'll go with modern day Rock and Roll Express, Midnight Express. Then you had the Von Brauners, then you had the Infernos, and those are old school tag teams. Um, I mean, I watched the Infernos as a mass tag team. They had a loaded boot. They had a manager who threw fire and brought a canteen to the ring and did all these crazy things. And you had Saul Weingroff managing 2 Nazi Germany, legit Germans. And they were scary and intimidating. Then you had the Rock and Roll Express and Midnight Express for for modern wrestling, tag team wrestling especially, I don't think you got any better than that. Um, and yeah, they're Southern style matches, but they told stories. And I think you could get into all four of the personalities involved. You had Ricky Morton, Robert Gibson as your angelic good guys against, Bobby Eaton and Dennis Condrey, or Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane, whatever combination you want to put it. And then you had that evil Jim Cornette on the outside to really put the cherry on the cake and let you know who the bad guys were. So then I think the three wrestlers I idolized would have to be the Funks: Dory Funk Sr., Dory Funk Jr., and Terry Funk. Of course, Wahoo McDaniel, Johnny Valentine, guys like that. I've been watching. I don't want to go off topic, but I don't know if we have a topic yet, except Survivor Series. But I was watching some old school '70s stuff with Wahoo McDaniel, the Spoiler, Wahoo McDaniel, Ric Flair. You know, those are the guys I grew up watching, and then I'm watching them today, and they wouldn't get over today because everybody's into a whole different. There's too much out there to get your attention, and these guys didn't do a lot of flashy moves, but what they did was they were hard hitting and they told a different story. It was a different business back then. Kayfabe wasn't in the dictionary yet, so those were the guys I idolized because they were presenting something different. The arenas were different. You turned the house lights down and you had the ring lights come right over the ring, and there was where your attention was drawn. So, not that it's, I don't think you could do that today. You have to have the glitz, the glamour, the sizzle. That's what people want to see.
I'll throw out four great tag teams: the Steiners, the Road Warriors, the Midnight Express, and Arn and Tully. I would say
Those are great. Yeah, those are great tag teams too. I'm just, the ones I remember that stuck with me were the Von Brauners and the Infernos. So
Spooky says Doctor Drip. Oh, I
I
kind of
like
like
that one.
that.
Yeah, I kind of like that one.
That's actually pretty good.
Sure.
ATF Media, our resident Ronnie Garvin fan. I heard Mike Tyson said if he had a punch as hard as Hands of Stone Ronnie Garvin, he wouldn't have had lost to Buster Douglas. Can anyone confirm? I can.
I don't know if Mike Tyson said that or not. Very well
He,
could have, but
he
I
probably
did.
would have beat Buster Douglas if he was Ronnie Garvin.
Well,
Probably.
if he had a punch like Ronnie Garvin, maybe not. But he did lose to Buster Douglas.
ATF loves Ronnie Garvin. I don't know why, but he does. I mean, I understand it, but I just
What do you mean you don't know why? What's that supposed to mean?
well, I'm just not sure
Ronnie's
of
a
why
lovable
why
guy.
he loves him so much. I know why I like him. I'm just not sure
Oh,
why
okay,
he loves him so much.
got you.
Todd, Dr. Tom, do you ever speak with Eric Embry anymore? And how far could he have gone before the auto accident?
I talked to Eric, I think last year, about a year ago, and Eric, to me, Eric was a smart guy, but he would go places to where he knew he was going to have some power and have the book, and then book the territory. And I got along great with Eric, and I think he didn't want to work out, that's for sure, but he knew how to work and he knew how to book stuff. So I don't know. He might have gone a long way. He might have he wound up in New York.
Who would win in 2092? Ric Flair or Vince McMahon? Oh, I guess they're both going to be alive.
Well, if they are, then I'm gonna put Vince over.
Nice. Snoop Doggy Dogg dropped an elbow on the Miz at WrestleMania. That's true.
Yes, he did.
Gotta respect that. As far as Survivor Series and some Survivor Series members we'll get back to, what do you remember mostly about your Survivor Series day back in 1994? Just another day in the office, or fun to be on the $1 million team?
It was fun to be on the $1 million team, but it was just we weren't really involved. We just happened to be stuck there. So, but it was good. It was great.
That was San Antonio, Texas. So it's the $1 million team: Bam Bam Bigelow, Gigolo, Jimmy Del Rey, King Kong Bundy, yourself, and Tatanka. You guys beat Guts and Glory, Adam Bomb, Bart Gunn, Billy Gunn, Lex Luger, and Mabel.
Yep.
Nice win there over
Nice
a
win.
pretty good Luger team there.
Sure.
I kind of like that Bigelow and Bam Bam together, and then you guys, and then just throwing
Big
Tatanka
one,
as well.
Bam Bam.
I
So
mean, Bundy and Bigelow. I mean,
Bundy. Yeah.
yeah, I kind of like that team that DiBiase put together there.
Yeah. DiBiase put that together.
The $1 million team.
Yeah.
Do you like the Survivor Series as far as like there's obviously it's 10 guys in the match, 5-on-5. Is it like a day off for you?
I don't know if it's a day off, but I like the Survivor Series concept. Thought it was very interesting. It gives something to work towards. So yeah, I liked it.
I always liked that. I don't know why they kind of went away from Survivor Series matches for a while. Basically, like around 99 ish, they kind of, well, really even 98, they kind of start slowly but surely doing away with the 4-on-4, 5-on-5 matches. Do you know why?
I think maybe it just got to be because everybody was getting bored and they wanted to try something different. That it could be nothing more than that. That just sitting around saying, "Hey, this year instead of doing the tag team concept, why don't we try something else? See how it works." That's my assumption.
Should The Miz beat Gunther at Survivor Series?
I don't believe so. I mean, let them have a great match. They can have a really good match, but I don't believe it's time to beat Gunther.
Dr. Tom, you did a great job training Ivy Nile, was pulling for her in the Women's Battle Royal match on Raw.
Today, she's finally made it to Raw, and I'm very, very proud of Ivy now. She's done a great job.
Pretty cool that, we're always talking like the old school guys. You train The Rock and Mark Henry, Kurt Angle, The Brackus, all those guys. But it's great to see in 2023, your trainees are still making it to WWE TV. Ivy Nile is no different.
Yeah, yeah, I'm very proud of her, and I couldn't be happier. Really, she's been working her heart out in NXT, and then finally she gets called up to Raw. It's great.
From Magazine Retriever, did you hear that Evan Courageous was recently arrested in North Carolina? He bonded out of jail. It was a strange story. I didn't hear anything about Evan Courageous being arrested.
Yeah, I heard about Evan Courageous being arrested. Sure did. I thought it was domestic violence. Could be wrong. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but that's what I thought it was. It could be wrong.
Not good, though, on the arrest there. From
Anytime you get arrested, I don't think it's a good thing, John.
No. Nope.
No.
Jason was bringing up the point before when we were talking about Backlund. He says it's an insult to Backlund that they don't bring up his title run.
Well, it is, but they don't really care. I mean, they're going to make it for what they want to make it. So, yeah, I think it's a little disrespectful to Bob.
They're from Ibsen. They're going away from the Survivor Series concept. Do you think they should stay with the team format instead of getting away from it? Do you like the team format rather than the singles matches on Survivor Series?
I really don't mind either way. I think singles match works just as much if you have the right combination. But I like the War Games concept. I like team versus team too.
If you could go back in time, what advice would you give to Sonny and Chris Candido?
To chill, get away, stop, stop doing what you're doing. It's not going to turn out good. I would sit both of them. I tried sitting both of them down again uh, before, and it just didn't work. But I would have done the same thing.
Oh, so you have sat them down before?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in the past. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What did you say to them?
This was when going to the airport and Sonny was being less than respectful to Chris. And I had them both together and said, "You can't do this in front of the boys," to Chris. And she said, "Well, what about me? What about me?" Well, it's not about you right now. It's about you showing Chris respect. And she screamed and cried. And that didn't accomplish anything. So I never brought it up again.
Oof.
Yeah.
Sounds like quite a handful. Obviously, she was.
It was quite a handful every night.
Spooky says Honky Tonk Man should come out of retirement. I totally agree.
Did he go into retirement?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time.
Well, I don't think he should be Gunther, but maybe he could come out of retirement with his ass kicked.
Gunther did beat his record, so technically speaking, Gunther's the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time.
Good point.
Dell is bringing up a point about the NWA and CW. I don't know much about this, and I don't know if that's actually true or not. But obviously, NXT is on CW now, so don't know if there's much besides kind of rumor and innuendo. If you will.
There's a lot of rumor and innuendo out there.
A relative of yours may have said that a time or two about rumor.
Once or twice.
Phil, good evening, Phil. My weeks fly by. Great to see you both. Phil, nice.
Well, great to see you, Phil.
I got a question here. What happens if Logan Paul goes to AEW? Wow, I don't know about that. I think he signed up long term WWE, I believe.
Well, yeah, and if he goes to AEW, he'll get more money, I guess. That's what will happen.
Yep. Jason saying NXT picked up on CW. Yes, very true. Is the IC strap on Raw or SmackDown? If it's on Raw, let Dirty Dom get it. It is a Raw title.
Okay, so Dirty Dom can get it. Did you see? Have you been on Twitter lately?
The X, yes.
The X. Okay. Did you see the spot that Dutch Mantel retweeted and said, "There's nothing sacred anymore"? Me and Tom Prichard did that. Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
No, what spot was it? No, I didn't see that.
It's a spot where the guy is got his stomach. He's hanging over the ropes where his head is inside the ring, and the other guy comes along and he grabs the top rope and slings him over, and he flips into a head scissor on Ivar, I think it is, and kind of gives him the victory roll head scissor.
So Ricochet, right?
Is that what it was?
Yeah, I think it was Ricochet that did that. Yeah.
Yeah, but who was the one that hit the ropes for him?
Oh, was it Ivar?
Wait a minute. I'm going to find it again because Dutch said...
you guys did that spot originally?
Yeah, it's a rib.
I was going to say, I don't know if you guys could pull that off.
No, he said... let's see here. And people... All right. Yeah, I think it's... Let's see.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you guys could do that, yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Okay.
Crazy spot, yeah.
Yeah, so people are all saying, hey, you guys are a bunch of grumpy old men because everybody steals stuff from the past. Yeah, nobody even takes a rib anymore. Nobody knows how to rib. Nobody knows how to.
No.
Yeah.
It's quite unfortunate.
It is unfortunate. It's very unfortunate.
What if Damian Priest cashes in during War Games?
Then I hope he becomes champ.
Yeah, you better cash in. You better win.
That's what I mean.
Tater, Dr. Tom, are you doing WrestleCade weekend in 2 weeks?
Well, as of right now, no.
Damn it, Tater.
No, I will not. Yeah.
Phil, that's a funeral pyre, like in Light My Fire. I guess when I was talking about the old Viking.
Come on, baby, light my fire. Sure.
Yes.
Yes.
Frank Nordquist. Frank, Dr. Tom, do you teach your students about locker room etiquette and paying proper respect to the veterans in the business?
Yes, I do. And I tell everyone to shake everybody's hand, introduce yourself, and then shut your mouth and keep your ears open.
So you do teach locker room etiquette. I like it. I like that.
Yes.
Barbara, please ask Dr. Tom who he wanted to work an angle with but never got to.
Terry Funk.
Well said. Who do you feel should be inducted into Hall of Fame in 2024?
Wow. It's another one I have to think about. Don't know.
Jake the Snake said yesterday Brian Pillman shouldn't be in the WWF because of longevity. Thoughts?
I don't know about that. Brian made an impact in wrestling. He not only made an impact in WWE, but he made an impact in wrestling. I mean, he was the first guy to really get the guaranteed contracts going, if I'm not mistaken. I know Scott Hall and Kevin Nash left, and they got guaranteed stuff, but Brian caused a an uproar because he was working everybody.
Yep.
Yeah, and he had the balls to do it. So
He was getting paid at one point from ECW, WCW, and WWF at the same time.
right. So he's pretty smart.
He's a genius. Scorch, what did you think about Ronnie Garvin's Hammer Jammer, the shin guard that protected him from Greg Valentine's figure four leg lock?
Well, it was a great gimmick to work in their angle. It was something that Valentine could sell because he couldn't get the figure four on. So I thought it was great.
Man, those matches were awesome. Especially if anybody's ever seen the 89 MSG match. Man, they just light each other up. You could tell it's like, okay, it's like a mid-card feud. They're not doing much with these guys. Hammer requested to work with him because he says Garvin's got nothing going on. They do that little referee gimmick, and man, they had awesome match together. I love that. I love that sometimes the guys are like, all right, you're not going to use us? Well, we're going to have the best match on the card. So
Right.
those guys were
Yeah.
awesome together.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I love those guys that are just stiff as hell, and they give as good as they get. So they just receipt, go back and forth, chop, slap, chop, slap. I love it.
Yeah. Valentine and Ronnie were cut from the same cloth. They both like just laying it in and getting hit. I think it gave both those guys goosebumps.
Do you feel shows like Tough Enough expose the wrestling industry?
No, I think if anything, they show that it's not what a lot of people think it is. So I know it's a reality show, but no, I don't think it would Tough Enough expose it. I think it's some of the indie guys exposing it. At least Tough Enough was showing that you do have to go to school, you do have to train, and show some of the training and some of the tribulations they had to go through. So I don't think that had anything to do with it.
A really great match. This is James May. Really great match that I saw recently. Arn Anderson and Ric Flair. I really enjoyed it. I think he's talking about Fall Brawl 1995.
Maybe so.
Nice little classic there. Arn shockingly gets the win thanks to Brian Pillman, of all people, as they're setting up the return of the Four Horsemen in 1995.
Well, if Arn and Rick couldn't have a hell of a match, I don't know who could. So yeah, that I'm trying to find some more Flair match. I'll have to look that one up too. See Arn and Rick
I love
working
it.
against each other instead of tagging or working as a horseman.
I loved it. Great match. Does Tony Khan wear I think he means hairpiece. It's his half piece, but I think he means hairpiece.
That I couldn't tell you.
In all seriousness, what does Cornette think of AEW? Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle. I don't know. I think if you follow Cornette, it's probably thumbs down.
If you listen to Jimmy, I think it's thumbs down. He's not a big he's not a big AEW fan.
Tater is saying that you are the GOAT of current professional wrestling trainers.
Well, thank you, Tater.
Worst payoff when you became established name? My guess would be Memphis. What was your worst payoff?
Wow. Well, I won't tell you what the worst payoff was, but I made $17 my first match. I remember that 17, not even $20.
Wow.
And then Memphis was notorious for bad payoffs, but my last time in Memphis, I did get a guarantee, so it was $500 a week, and that was when Eric Embry was booking too. So yeah, Memphis, and it wasn't all that great when you're starting out anyway. So you have to accept that.
King of King Sport, Bo James. Hey, Doc, I saw Lemuel at the store. Whoa.
I hope you told Lemuel I said hello, Bob James. Lemuel's my best friend.
Thank you, Bob. What do you think is next for LA Knight? Says Jason. Do you think he will get a title soon?
Yeah, I think he might be the guy. Come to think of it, to beat Gunther if he's got a ride going or got something going on just out of nowhere, or have he and Gunther get real hot. Um, but yeah, I think he'll have a title pretty soon.
Bob Johnson. Tom, what do you think about the new movie, The Iron Claw? And do you have any stories on the Von Erichs?
I have not seen the movie yet. I've seen the trailer, and the Von Erichs have always been good to me. So yeah, I wasn't around when Michael and Terry and everybody was around the Freebirds and Von Erichs, but when I in 1979 when I was making shots to Dallas, those guys were just starting out too, and they were hot. It was a crazy, crazy time. So, but I wasn't really close to any of the Von Erichs.
Jay-Z. Hogan needs to start his own Fed, maybe bring back the XWF. I think
Well,
Hogan is signed to a lifetime deal at WWE, so I don't know if that's going to happen. But
yeah, probably so. And I think Hogan's too smart for that. You know how to. You know the best way to become a millionaire. Start out as a billionaire, then buy a wrestling company. Yeah.
nice. Frank, the WWE Hall of Fame has a number of wrestlers who spent most of their career outside of WWE. That is true.
Yeah.
So it's not just WWE. So it's they have all
No,
the
it's
butchers
just,
there, for Christ's
yeah.
sake. Yeah,
Bob Armstrong, I don't think ever wrestled for WWE.
I don't think so.
So, he's in the Hall of Fame and deserves it.
Magazine. If wrestling promoters compelled wrestlers to sign a contract preventing them from disclosing their earnings to fellow wrestlers, would that minimize a lot of friction within the promotion?
Uh, well, there's going to be jealousy no matter what. So, even if you sign a contract preventing them from disclosing their earnings, yeah, they're going to disclose their earnings. It's just a fact.
Just the way the
So
boys are.
yeah.
Jake said he tried to play a rib on Road Warrior Hawk and he almost got strangled to death for it. Do you think you need to tell young wrestlers not to play ribs on certain individuals? Thanks.
Well, if they're going to be that stupid, then they need to almost get strangled to death. So I just tell the guys to shake hands and sit down and shut up and listen. Keep your eyes and ears open, mouth shut.
AEW sucks from Colton Grundy. And then he says, Dr. Tom, what is it like to work with the legend, Tracy Smothers?
It was awesome. Tracy was awesome. I mean, that's very nice, Colton. I like your picture there. Anyway, no, Tracy was great, and we had good matches together.
Dale is saying Duke the Dumpster Drosy dropped a heavy barbell on his ankle, which eventually led to his foot needing to be amputated at the ankle. He has a prosthesis, much like Kerry Von Erichs.
I did not know that. Huh? That happened?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I
How long
remember
ago was
I
this?
it had to be a couple of years ago because I interviewed him, God, 2 years ago maybe or so, and we were talking about how he had a prosthesis, but he still wrestles once in a while, or he still,
Really?
just gets in there once in a while with the prosthesis. Yeah,
Wow. Well, he's got to be a little older these days too,
yeah, oh yeah,
close to
for sure.
50 or
Yeah,
whatever.
definitely. Yeah, maybe even older than that. Brian Starr. Hello, Mr. Pritchard. I am Brian from New York City. I just turned 35. I'm a worker in New York. I feel like I should begin my prime, but I'm having a bit of trouble getting noticed. Will WB take someone who's 35 or 36 years old?
Depends how hot you get, and you have to get a buzz about you. If you're not getting a buzz where you're at, you need to go somewhere and get a buzz and have people talking about you. Um, yeah, I think you're behind the eight ball, yeah. But if you've been working for a while, then and you're not getting any notice or not being noticed, you need to go somewhere else. Make some connections in the places you're working right now, and get out there and network and get your name out where people are going to hear about you, see you, uh, show you on social media, things like that. But I think if you're talented, WWE will take you. It's just you got to be extraordinary, especially if you're 35, 36 years old.
Well said. From Ron, Dr. Tom is the guy. I was honored to be in the crowd for one of his seminars. Unbelievable experience.
Well, thank you, Ron.
Glenn, I was wondering why there's no referees in the Hall of Fame.
Are there no referees in there?
Not that I know of. No, not even the Hebners. Well, I guess they have bad blood with them, but no, nobody.
Wait a minute. Are you sure?
Yeah, I can't think. I mean,
Tim
Teddy
White?
Long.
Tim White?
Oh, is Tim White in?
Yes.
Did he win the Warrior Award or something?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So he would be the only one.
Referee Tim White. Yeah, I think there have been a referee in there.
It's weird there's not more.
Well, who should be in there?
Earl Hebner, Dave Hebner, Joey Morella, Mike Chioda. There's a bunch I think should be in there. Tommy Young.
Sure. So, what constitutes being a Hall of Fame referee?
I guess longevity.
Maybe. Good point.
What is a better gimmick for Paul White, Big Show or Captain Insano from Waterboy?
Ooh. What was a better gimmick? Which was a better gimmick? I don't know. I like Captain Insano.
Bringing that back, oddly enough. For some reason, Tony Khan bought the rights to it, and they've been using it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Big Show likes doing stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's just easy little merchandise grab because I saw they were making little Captain Insano figures.
Exactly.
Do you think Raw will leave the USA Network next year?
Don't have a clue.
Oh, it really says Tim White is in the Hall of Fame, so you're right. Yes.
Right.
Colton is saying Earl Hebner is in the WWE Hall of Fame 2015. I don't know about that. I
No,
don't
he's
think
not.
so. He's definitely not in the Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Neither one are in the Hall of Fame.
He's got some bad blood there. With
I
WWE.
guess. Yeah.
Colton said, Dr. Tom, did you ever settle your real life heat with Alex Wright for sleeping with his wife? Serious question. She's smoking hot. Remember that rumor? This was like months ago about Alex Wright's wife.
What was the rumor about Alex Wright's wife?
That you and her were an item at one point.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I haven't talked to Alice in a while, but I've talked to my wife about it, and she's cool with it. So everything's under control there on my side.
Joey Morella should have worked the main event of WrestleMania 3. Worked WrestleMania 3 main event. That should be the criteria. Hey, he's in the biggest match in the history of matches, one of the biggest matches of all time.
Yeah.
God is saying you should be in the Hall of Fame.
Well, sure he is.
And just to put a little capper on the Survivor Series, I have to mention this is your third and final Survivor Series, 1995. The Body Donna team versus the Underdogs. So the Body Donnas was Rad Radford, 1-2-3 Kid, Skip, and Dr. Tom Prichard, defeating Barry Horowitz, Bob Holly, Hakushi, and Marty Jannetty. So you had a nice little run at Survivor Series.
Who won that match?
You guys.
Okay, so there we go. I was at least on the winning team, even though it didn't look too well for us.
Quite a run you had at Survivor Series. Did you feel that you were the king of Survivor Series? You know, they say Randy Orton is like Mr. Survivor Series. Do you think maybe
I felt like I was the king of Survivor Series. That's exactly how I felt.
Yes. It's one of those things where I don't know. It's good to be a part of the Big Four. You know what I mean? In those big pay-per-views.
Yeah, it would have been really great.
Who would you want to induct you in the Hall of Fame, Bruce or Vince?
I don't know. I think I might get Lemuel to induct me in the Hall of Fame.
Whoa.
Yeah, if he's not, huh?
I feel like Vince wouldn't want to induct
you don't
people
think so?
anymore. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I think did he do Undertaker? But I just feel like
he did Austin and he did Undertaker.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like he's trying to get away from being on TV. It just seems like.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll have Lemuel induct me.
I wouldn't mind Bruce doing it. That might be okay.
Yeah, I think Bruce has times that are changing tips of his shoelaces at night.
Colton is saying Dr. Tom is a stud. How could you not like him? He carried the Body Donnas.
Oh, so you got another one, huh, Colton? No,
Yeah.
it's the same. It's the same picture. I like the
Yeah.
picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brendan says, "Have you seen a lot of moments in WWE? You have seen a lot of moments. Which sticks out the most? Favorite moment WWE?
I don't know. Probably the Steiners in Detroit. Was that was SummerSlam
SummerSlam.
'93?
Yep.
Yeah. So that one probably sticks out because that was our first pay-per-view.
What did you think about the Steiners work wise? Were they stiff at all with you?
No, they were great.
Gotta love them.
Total pros.
Ibsen saying Vince should be happy with you because you gave him your first blade.
Well, he should be happy. Whether he is or isn't, it's another story. But yeah, I agree, Ibsen. He should be happy.
Juan, thank you, Dr. Tom, and the Heavenly Bodies with like a little arm pose there. I like that.
Well, thank you,
A little
Juan.
muscle.
Yeah,
Heavenly
look at
Bodies.
that.
Who do you feel should induct Vince into the Hall of Fame?
I think Lemuel should induct Vince too because he knows how to speak and he knows how to tell a story.
I was thinking Shane, but okay.
Well, Shane would be a good pick as next to Lemuel.
As far as wrapping it up, though, Dr. Tom, tell everybody where they can get this, your book, A Pro Wrestling Curriculum, Advice, Suggestions, and Stories to Help the Aspiring Pro get to the next level.
Well, not only can you get the book here, but you can also find out about our latest training sessions coming up at the JPWA at jpwrestlingacademy.com. And just click the training tab at the top, and you can find out where to get that book.
I love it. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Two Man Power Trip. Check the website, tmptempire.com. Follow Dr. Tom on the X at Dr. Tom Prichard. Anything else you got going on in this crazy world?
Absolutely not. We're just plugging along to JPWA and waiting for Thanksgiving and Christmas to come, and then that's it.
Where can they get it autographed?
Well, they can send me an email at jpwrestlingacademy@gmail.com, and I'll send you the information.
Nice. Dr. Tom, Hall of Fame. Memorabilia, there you go. He just told you how you can get the autograph there. Jason, thank you. Phil, thank you. Another Hall of Famer here. Spooky says the doctor for the Hall of Fame. So you get a lot of Hall of Fame nods tonight. I love it.
Awesome.
Thank you, everybody out there, for listening. See you right back here next time for a little Take It to School with Dr. Tom Prichard. We'll see you next week, folks.